Welcome back to part 2 of the repair on that big fancy 250-gallon in-wall aquarium. We've just finished vacuuming the gravel and cleaning the inside of the tank. We're now getting ready to put the salt water back into the tank. First thing we want to do is introduce the buffer, the pH buffer, into the tank. It's a powder. We're going to pour it into the top of the tank, and then we'll introduce the water on top of that, and that'll help it dissolve quite quickly.
The directions on the container suggest adding the appropriate amount of buffer to a small container of fresh water, dissolve it there, and then pour it into the tank.
Keeping tabs on the pH in the aquarium is very important because there's always a tendency for that pH to fall. I'm using a marine buffer to help support that pH. We're now ready to start pouring in the salt water back into the tank. This is done in 5-gallon jug at a time. I've got 4 jugs for 20 gallons.
This is one of the hardest parts of the job, lifting up those 5-gallon jugs of water and then hiking them up the ladder. Figure about 45 pounds a jug, and you're lifting 4 of these just for this one job. Over the course of the day, you might do 3, 4, or 5 similar jobs, lifting the same amount. This probably explains why I'm about an inch shorter than I was in high school.
There's 20 gallons of real ocean water put back into the tank. We'll now plug the system back in.
This tall, narrow tank is a 2-pump system. One pump, the filter pump, is an Milwaukee 40 that does about 750 gallons an hour. This drives the main filter. The other is an internal circulation pump, one that draws water from the tank and pumps it directly back into the tank. In this case, that pump sits outside with the refrigeration unit.
Before I get too far along, I want to empty that protein skimmer cup. It's a pretty narrow open section of this biofilter, so I had to go with a very narrow or small in diameter Euro Reef skimmer. I just had it made a little extra tall. And as you can see, it does a good job of driving a lot of stuff out.
I've had many people ask if a protein skimmer is a necessity, and my answer is no, but it sure is a significant benefit, so I would encourage you to incorporate one into your saltwater system.
And here we've cleaned the cup on the protein skimmer and placed it back inside there. Plugged it in, and you can see here,
in addition to driving organics out, a protein skimmer will also highly aerate the aquarium water.
I'm not sure if you can see, but that's the bio wheel behind there.
This is a commercial aquarium bio wheel, something you might find on a large lobster tank or large fish holding system.
Okay, we've got our clean coral decorations set out, and we'll go ahead and lift those up into the aquarium.
I've mentioned before that this is the enjoyable part of the job, the art part of the job. I do this tank every week and have for the last 14 years.
So that's basically the service of the tank as well as the redecoration of it. We still need to do the repair, but we've gone ahead and cleaned the inside of the tank. We vacuumed the gravel. We replaced the coral decorations. giving it a new, clean appearance. This is a weekly service that we do. And as I mentioned in the beginning, we're here to do a repair on the tank. And that consists of the top panel and the front panel are beginning to separate, and you can tell by that white band along there. That's where the actual separation is occurring. And what we're going to do is drill down from the top into where the separation is and try to introduce some solvent, which should melt, bond, or fuse those panels back together. So make it a point to come on back for part 3 as I start drilling into the top of the tank to create that access, kind of like the miners down in Chile where they had to drill that second access from the top down in there so they could get air supplies, water, and of course ultimately get them out. In our case, we're going to just drill some holes down into that separation and try to introduce some glue in there. So again, make it a point to come on back for part 3, LA Fishguys repairing that big 250-gallon in-wall tank.